Hi, impact trainers, coaches, agents, and school leaders. I wanted to let you know about one of the biggest updates to the impact program in the last 5 years. This video is about explaining the update and guiding you how you can best take advantage of the update for both yourself and your community. There are three key features I wanted to let you know about. First, we've updated the Impact Accreditation Framework and suite of services. Second, we've just released a new online self-paced workshop of 3 hours duration titled Trauma Responsive Practice as a Way of Thinking and Being. Finally, the Impact Self-Assessment Check-in or Survey, an embedded evaluation process. This year, we've updated our accreditation framework and suite of services. Provide more flexibility for local impact trainers and coaches to be at the front line of building the capacity of their local schools and communities. This is summarised on this page. On this page, you can see the 5-tier accreditation framework. All registrants to Impact Online are automatically given the trainee level. The next level is introductory. We're really encouraging all community members in your communities to be at this level. The next level after this is the advanced, and this is accredited for the completion of the 2-day advanced impact, which is a prerequisite for the impact coach accreditation level. Impact coaches have access to high-level resources and tools to really work side by side of their communities to translate the science of wellbeing, trauma, and growth into action. And finally, there's the Impact Trainer accreditation level. Impact trainers are accredited to deliver the Impact Foundations and support their community access a new online 3-hour workshop, Trauma Responsive Practice as a Way of Thinking and Being. The introductory accreditation level is achieved through one of the following 2 pathways. The first pathway is the completion of Trauma Responsive Practice, a Way of Thinking and Being, a 3-hour self-paced online workshop, as well as the Impact Respond Rather Than React Introduction to Intentional Trauma Responsive Practice. This 2-day workshop is delivered by LBI only. The second pathway is the pathway most of our communities will draw upon. This is the completion of one of the following Impact Foundations workshops. These workshops are contextualised to foster care, residential care, education, and a more generalised audience. On top of that, the following 4 modules are also to be completed. Again, Trauma Responsive Practice, a Way of Thinking and Being, the 3-hour self-paced workshop is available to all communities. These other 3 modules are delivered by impact coaches. They include Growth Action Planning, Responding to Need, and Grounded. In short, the completion of the introductory accreditation level is either through Pathway 1, Trauma Responsive Practice, a Way of Thinking and Being, and the 2-day Respond Rather Than React, or alternatively, through the completion of an Impact Foundations workshop and these 4 workshops and coaching modules. The next accreditation level is Impact Advanced, and this is completed through the completion of the 2-day Advanced Impact Workshop delivered by LBI Foundation. This workshop is a prerequisite to the Impact Coach accreditation level. This includes the online completion of a self-paced workshop, which takes approximately 4 to 5 hours. It includes the completion of a growth action plan and asks trainees to also complete an intentional coaching conversation with a reflective activity. The Impact Advanced level, as supported by the Impact Coach accreditation, is really focused on high-level applications of growth action planning and teaches the foundations of intentional coaching conversations. This link here provides additional information on the Impact Coach role. And if you're a leader, we encourage you to go to this page in order to understand the prerequisites and the key considerations you might bring to identifying staff, practitioners, and educators who may take on the Impact Coach role in your community. The final accreditation level is the Impact Trainer. Impact Trainers need to be the Impact Coach accreditation level, and this manual here talks through the range of functions and roles of the Impact Trainer and what are some of the prerequisites they must complete prior to undertaking the one-day face-to-face workshop in Adelaide. At the bottom of this page are our Impact Specialist 3-hour workshops. These workshops take the foundational impact content to specialist and advanced applications. They are either delivered in-house by LBI Foundation, as well as online through the LBI Foundation events calendar. You can see the events calendar on this page. All community members from your communities who are a partner agency of LBI can access these workshops in green for free. These workshops cover a diversity of topics, and you're welcome to ask LBI to shorten one of these workshops to a coaching module as delivered within your local agency or school. Just get in contact if you'd like further information. A feature of this new suite of services is that it provides trainees feedback on their current levels of accreditation. After they have logged in, if they go back to this page, they get feedback on where they are at in terms of their impact accreditation, as well as what workshops have been completed and what workshops they're enrolled within. Trainees can also access a transcript and certificates of all workshops they've completed by going to their course accreditation homepage. On this page, you'll again see these 2 workshops have been completed and the certificate can be downloaded here. This workshop is ready to be completed or finalised online. The trainee can also download all of their learning or professional development tasks through this function here by pressing print. This section will focus on the content, the intent, the features, as well as a process by which impact trainers in your communities can support members access the workshop Trauma Responsive Practice, a Way of Thinking and Being. The content of the workshop is summarised on this information sheet. The key content is as follows. The workshop will unpack what are wellbeing and trauma responsive communities. It'll then detail the 7 impact metacognitive competencies of trauma and wellbeing responsive practice as a way of thinking and being. This creates a scaffold for the workshop. The first metacognitive competency is foundational knowledge, and the workshop will unpack the nature of experiences activating versus suppressing, brain functioning, how the brains develop in a neurosequential manner, understand the impact of trauma on development, in particular brain functioning, and the role and feature of the safe base as the agent of growth, healing, and change. And then unpack the metacognitive skill of being mindful in action, how to respond rather than react, remain mindful, being grounded in practice. It will then teach under the surface thinking, understanding the why of behaviour, feelings, needs, and the 3 C's. It will then unpack growth-focused thinking. What does it mean to be growth-focused, and how do we uplift a growth intent? It will introduce the skill of building block thinking, or the ability to break down change outcomes through trauma-responsive building blocks of growth intent. The workshop will then introduce the art of being intentional or intentional planning, including introducing the what, how, and what does it mean to be intentional in moment-to-moment support or care. And finally, the workshop unpacks shared intent in action. What you can see here is the workshop focuses on foundational building blocks or metacognitive competencies of trauma and wellbeing responsive practice as a way of thinking and being. It does not formally teach growth action planning. Growth action planning is the focus of the Impact Foundation's workshop, which is designed to be an extension of this workshop. There are two key intents for this workshop. The first key intent is to introduce and induct new people into either trauma responsive care or practice, as well as the impact program. It's really designed to support you to introduce new people to foundational impact content, trauma responsive practice, the impact of trauma from a very early starting point, with the foundational workshop designed to build and extend this into growth action planning. The second key intent is to reactivate and extend impact trained personnel to really support them to move the impact content from the learner to live it to apply it to coach it levels. In other words, across your community, you can use this to both introduce and induct, as well as to reactivate and extend existing impact trained personnel. There are some key features of this workshop that I want to highlight. First of all, it is self-paced. While it is designed to take approximately 3 hours, people can come back to the workshop at any time. It includes a mixture of videos and quizzes, and trainees will be required to watch the entire video prior to being able to move on. Trainees can also download the PowerPoint notes. The workshop is narrated by myself, and a key feature of this workshop is at the end of the workshop, there's a self-assessment feedback process where trainees will be asked to self-assess how they currently express the Impact 7 metacognitive competencies, and they receive an email back from LBI in terms of next steps for their professional development. I'll explain this online self-assessment in the next section of this video. Access to this workshop is through local community members receiving a registration link from an impact trainer. This impact trainer can either be from LBI Foundation or a local impact trainer embedded within your community. Local impact trainers should log in and then go to their impact trainer menu. You will then see the registration details in the sub-menu here. This page details the registration process. It gives you some key background information, as well as the email correspondence which should be provided to individual community members. Importantly, impact trainers, please add a section about how this workshop is useful for your community or what is the intent of the workshop for your individual members. This is foundational, so the why or the intent of the workshop is understood at the local level. You'll also receive this content in an email from LBI Foundation. The Impact Self-Assessment Check-in and Evaluation Survey is an exciting new initiative. This online survey will ask participants to self-assess their current expression or progress as mapped against the 7 impact metacognitive skills or competencies. The intent of this survey is twofold. First, we're using it to evaluate and continually improve the impact program, including focusing on what learning outcomes are being achieved under what conditions. And secondly, to provide a meaningful feedback loop to impact trainees in relationship to their growth and professional development. The survey takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes and is embedded throughout the online impact suite of training. For all participants and trainees undertaking the workshop, trauma responsive practice as a way of thinking and being, this is a key endpoint of this workshop. We want to ensure that all trainees and communities get benefit from this. So this is what we've done. At the conclusion of the survey, trainees will be invited to receive an email by which their survey responses are emailed back to them which also includes next step professional development suggestions they may consider. This email will also include a link to a growth action plan, which they can summarize their survey responses into the plan, and then from this, develop a set of intents and how strategies and actions they can draw upon for their own professional development. We are really committed to ensuring this survey is done in a really robust manner. And we've developed a privacy policy by which guides our implementation and use of this survey. This is what the survey looks like in action. These recent updates have taken significant R&D time on our end, but we know we're not at the end point yet. However, we've built the foundations to really strengthen the quality and the impact of our programs, training, workshops, and services to both yourself and your community. We would really value your feedback and suggestions for ongoing or continuous improvement. Please get in contact with myself or your local community lead. Thank you again for the opportunity to work side by side with both yourself and your community. And good luck with your impact journey.